So we're going to take you back to an interview Wack 100 had where he is talking about the situation with Big U, and we're going to now match that with his newest statements and what's going on in the situation. We're probably going to end up debunking some of Wack 100's false claims. We'll probably end up debunking a lot of the things that he said that just ended up being totally false and not true. But let's jump into this content. Shout out to Vlad TV.
What's going on with the whole Big U case? Because they're saying the prosecution is not using the DNA found under the victim's nails.
Well, we said that back in April of 2020.
That's not true. You said that Big U was going to be charged for murder because DNA was actually under his nails from Rayshawn Williams, and Big U has actually not been charged with that. So Alex Alonso, big shout out to him, Street TV, shout out to Straight Politic, and make sure you check out Alex Alonso's page. He'll give us our first clip where Wack actually and 600 were very adamant about Big U's DNA being in the victim's, under the victim's nails. Now you'll see that Wack's trying to walk it back, but let's see exactly what happened in the past. Big shout out to Alex Alonso, Street Gang TV.
I wanted to play a clip from this No Jumper interview between Traplo Ross and Wack 100. They're talking about the DNA in this Big U case. Now, we all heard your favorite YouTuber, 600, saying that there was DNA found under the fingernails that match Big U.
So, dude, they've been trying to get his DNA. So we looked it up. They've been trying to get his DNA for a while now. He's been denying it. The feds came and got involved in the case. And they sent the search warrant. They had to get a warrant to get his DNA. When they got his DNA, it matched the DNA that was found under the dead body's fingernails. You know, so.
Which actually doesn't make sense because Big U has been in the California Departments of Corrections, and the California Departments of Corrections forces you to give DNA, so they wouldn't have to subpoena his DNA because it's already in their database, but okay.
That's tied him to it, you know what I mean?
His name 1200 now. He running with 12.
His DNA matches Big U found under the fingernails, and Wack and 600 both.
So as you guys are able to see, yes, California prisons, considering the fact that Big U has been to one, requires inmates to provide DNA sample. Refusal to give one is a separate misdemeanor crime under California law. Proposition 69, DNA collection is mandatory for anyone sent to a state prison convicted of qualifying offenses. So if, again, I'm not sure how Big U's DNA had to be subpoenaed when it was clear to see that it was actually already in the database because he had already been to the California Departments of Prisons, California Departments of Corrections and Rehabilitation. But let's continue on with the Flu Flammery.
And when Traplo Ross was on the show with Wack, he brought it up, saying, hey, it didn't turn out to be true. Let's play that clip.
We're warning him. I'm going to be real. If somebody took my DNA a year or so ago, after a year, 18 months, I'm thinking ain't nothing of it. I'm not even thinking that my skin's under.
Well, you're saying that Big U didn't provide. You just said that Big U didn't provide DNA and had to have a search warrant. I'm sorry, a warrant be issued for the DNA. So if he never actually, okay, see, we're not making sense. You're saying that on one hand, you're saying that they had his DNA for years. Now we do know the truth, as we saw on Google. California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, the California penitentiary system, does make you give DNA. So we know where the DNA is. It's in the California Department of Corrections, their database. And again, should he be wanted for an unalivement, you would assume that the state of California would be more than willing to give that up to, you know, the feds. But I digress. Wack says that he had to be subpoenaed for the DNA. Now you're saying that the DNA has been sitting for a year. Well, what's going on here? Because there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of contradictions coming from Wack 100.
About a dude's nails. And I hear the family say they found his DNA under the nails. I hear that. That's going to be alarming to me.
That did turn out to not be completely true, though, right?
No, it was completely
From
true.
the complaint, it said that the DNA that was found, it couldn't confirm that it was Big U, but it couldn't rule it out too, whereas they could rule out the other individual, right?
No. I don't know where you saw that at. No. I don't know where you saw that at. No. I don't know where you saw that at.
Wack never really knows anything.
Sorry, it said that. It wasn't completely confirmed that it's Big U's DNA. That's what I'm seeing, and there's still no...
There's no... Listen.
It said it was inconclusive or something like that, right?
So, do you want me to read it out?
Go ahead.
Read out.
Okay, so... The DNA profile. So DNA was connected from RW's ankle/sock area, consistent with the direction that RW was dragged into the desert off the highway.
Oh.
The DNA profile obtained was not complete, likely due to the aforementioned inclement on weather due to the inclement weather on the night of the murder. So the weather and the way that the body was left overnight, I guess in the cold, in the wind or whatever, meant that the DNA profile wasn't able to be completed. So it says analysis of Henley's DNA profile, Big U, was inconclusive, such that he could not be excluded as the contributor of the DNA, but it couldn't be confirmed. And Robinson, on the other hand, was excluded as a potential contributor of the DNA. So it wasn't confirmed, but it couldn't be excluded.
Do you know who Robinson is?
Robinson.
That's the driver.
So that has nothing to do with what Trap Lord Ross said. Robinson being a driver has absolutely nothing to do with what Trap Lord Ross is talking about.
That's the driver who told them they drove to L.A., picked the kid up, where they took him, and how he was killed. So when you got something that says you're not excluded, it could have been you, maybe not. But then you got the dude with you who gave DNA once they brought him in. Big U didn't know it. And they show, you didn't touch the body. That means he's identified Big U as a killer. That's who really told on him.
Well, but all I'm saying is that
none of that has to do with the fact that you lied about the DNA. None of that has to do with that.
I understand the DNA thing. To make the statement, Big U's DNA was found under his fingernail.
That's been running in the media a lot.
That's not been conclusively proven as true.
These mics are kind of sensitive, so you might want to pull it in a little more.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's what
Yeah, well, you got to remember, we didn't make...
They've been saying that as a headline since Wack started talking about it.
You got to remember, we didn't make the...
Trap Lord Ross is making it abundantly clear that Wack, excuse me, is the one talking too much about this. Now, Trap Lord Ross makes a good point. He says that they haven't stopped talking about it since Wack, brought it up. But let's run this one more time.
The media a lot.
That's not been conclusively proven as true.
These mics are kind of sensitive, so you might want to pull it in a little more.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's what
Yeah, well, you got to remember, we didn't make...
They've been saying that as a headline since Wack started talking about it.
You got to remember, we didn't make the statement.
They've been saying that in the headline since Wack started talking about it. Interesting.
We just played the recording.
But this is the thing. Do you feel like it's kind of overcooking Big U's involvement? Now, obviously, it's an open case. It's unresolved, right? But the headline of DNA found under fingernails is a little overshooting.
What's the difference in what you did?
Because this says it can't confirm it.
Listen. You know I'm allowing you to question me right now, right?
I appreciate it.
Because you did some punk shit the other day. See, the only difference is you usually do what you did the other day sitting over there in London somewhere, right? And you're not here, right? It's a lot of places you can't go. You send Adam
It's
something.
a lot of places you can go, like the verses, but okay.
And as if it was...
But that's enough of Wack lying about that. Let's get back to the original content. We'll see if Alex Alonso finishes off with anything good.
So, trying to do their job.
I know.
And deflected his
Help take care of his family, who then sat on my couch and said, help me. I don't see that dude as that, right?
Now, first of all, we seen how he just deflected.
Yeah, he deflected
Trapper
Traveler
Ross
Ross
proved his point that it was inconclusive and there wasn't no DNA positivity under his nails. Then he said Sylvester and deflected and said that's how he tied it in, although it's inconclusive. And then completely spent the narrative and got to talking about himself because he read exactly what was in the indictment about him trying to plead for Big U to leave him alone. I don't like Big U, bro, and Trapper Ross don't need to sit down with everybody because, man, he from the UK and they bullying the dude. I don't like that shit, man. I don't like bullies, bro.
Yeah, I played that just to show that all this information about DNA that they were saying on the internet before these arrests happened were 100% incorrect.
Wait, what was that, Alex?
To show that all this information about DNA that they were saying on the internet before these arrests happened were 100% incorrect. There is inconclusive DNA for Big U. The Robinson's DNA is completely excluded. So I'm not sure. I mean, the feds can play a dirty game and say that inconclusive doesn't mean he's not the one, But the narrative that they were running with was not true.
I shouldn't get mad listening to people. This get me.
So, yeah, Munchie B, he gets me mad as well, too. But let's jump back to this Vlad interview so we can continue to kind of just see how Wack's conversation age, and so far it's not aging well. It's aging like milk, but let's see.
He said that back in April of 2025, that it wasn't, once they were apprehended.
So again, there's no footage ever recorded of Wack saying that this actually wasn't true. Wack's never come out and said, hey, you guys, I got that wrong. I want to recant my story. So that's never actually happened. So right now, he's not really telling the truth.
In that first paperwork, I think might have been Prince. Prince pulled those documents, and he's one of the exposers, and it showed that it wasn't a positive, it wasn't a negative. It was like inconclusive or some shit, right? But that's
So you never said that. Actually, Trap Lord Ross said that to you, and now you're telling us. So we saw where he got that from Trap Lord Ross, and now he's trying to pass it off as his own conversation.
it's not even the basis of that case. That would have been a nail in the coffin. But it's so many other different elements. It's the ring. It's the security guard. It's the triangulation of when he turned the cell phone off. Him leaving with the kid. They're catching him on the ring with the kid. Him leaving, and then
None of that has to do with the fact that you blatantly lied about this man's DNA being somewhere where it wasn't.
body was found versus where he went back to and turned the cell phone back on. They just picked up a youngster who was supposed to be a witness to some things, who somebody was hiding him out. They just picked him up a week and a half ago.
Around this case.
Yeah, around his case,
Wow.
around the murder.
Okay.
But like I said, it's a whole lot of elements to this. You know, the security guard, that was at the studio. They're swapping out of DVR boxes and cameras. It's all kind of stuff to this case. The driver, Sylvester Robinson, was authenticating driving from from LA to Las Vegas. You know what I mean? So that would have been bad.
He's literally just filling empty space with words that make no actual sense to the conversation.
But it still doesn't erase everything else. And I think where they're going to have their problem with is motive. Remember, it was a song, and then they tried to say,
Remember, the original question was about the DNA.
he was mad his son was gay, which is a complete lie.
So let's see if anything. Well, actually, 600 is the one. Let me see something real quick.
Well, Big U's motive wasn't the rap song. It was that he found out that the rapper and his son, Dayon, were lovers. And he was scared that if this got out, he would be affected in the NFL. Now, it's a few.
All right. So again, more rumors and lies that things are just simply 100% not true, just 100% false, 100% lies, 100% not the reality of the situation. That Wack 100 is just, again, putting into the atmosphere. So I'm not really sure where this flammery comes from, but, hey, whatever. Let's go back to the interview, though.
His motive. Remember, it was a song, and then they tried to say, he was mad his son was gay, which is a complete lie. Some
I guess by they you mean you, but, you said that, but whatever.
BS. I still have yet to hear motive. You can't say it was a diss song, because even when Nipsey dissed him, he didn't try to unalive him. He just went over there and whooped his ass. So what's the motive? That right there is, I think, that's their problem. They got to establish a motive. Yes, they got him on a Ring camera. They got him turning his phone off, leaving the studio. And the Ring camera, maybe 18, 19 minutes, they triangulated how long it take to get from here to there is about it. But okay, they leave at this time. But where did he go? Did he drop him off down the street? Did the kid jump out? No.
You know what? I'm going to get into that in another video. With this video, let's stick on one thing at a time. Whacking this DNA situation. I don't want to bounce around all over the place. I ran across this clip.
This shit gonna be a crazy situation.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm gonna be stuck with that question. Why did they even ask him for the DNA? That's just so
That's what I'm
interesting.
saying. Yeah.
Why ask? Why even ask you? Who brought you up? Or, you know what I'm saying? Something had to be said.
Something had to be said. Something had to happen on the back end. Somebody was talking. But there's no way. There's no way. Somebody just call Wack out of the blue, like, yeah, we need you to come down to San Diego because we found a body. Da 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 da.
Yeah, somebody told me.
Hello, what?
But not only that, right?
Right.
Okay, listen. So let's just say somebody called me, right? Yeah, and I know I ain't been nowhere in San Diego, right? I'm like, man, fuck you. I ain't coming to do nothing, right? Okay. This is America. They can't force you to do something unless they got something where they can go to that judge and say,
This is
we need a
undeniable.
court order, motherfucking subpoena for him to give us DNA because of these determining factors.
And Wack, they definitely got to have something to go to the judge.
Yeah, this is a fact. You have to.
That's why I want to know what was in there.
So here you have Wack claiming that it's a fact that they have something. Otherwise, they aren't, able to subpoena him for his DNA or need him for his DNA. And then you see how he's, backtracking, and he'll say that he never said that Big U's DNA was used or could be used as evidence. But, here we are listening to him, and whoever this random girl is on Clubhouse, because we all know how much of an expert you have to be on Clubhouse and give your opinion. I mean, like, all the world's smartest people are definitely on Clubhouse. So with that all being said, it just, again, shows the inconsistencies in the things that he says, and it shows how he is more oftentimes than not willing to just full-blown lie and say he didn't make statements that he is, again, clearly have made. But, maybe, again, I always will give Wack an understanding, because maybe through his old age, he is, becoming a little bit forgetful. You know what I mean? So maybe we are, again, witnessing early stages of dementia in an older gentleman. And if that is, in fact, the case, we're going to pray for Wack.
Search warrant. What was there?
Yeah, what was in that?
What was that? Yeah, because that's going to answer a lot of questions that we having right now.
What gave that judge reason to say, okay, I'm going to sign this?
Right. What was the evidence that was presented? Well, we know the DNA, but why was it pinned on Big U?
I think that shit going back to the Giovanni dude, something. Because look, to me, he told before, 2008, right here. We got him telling.
All right, Wack. I've been sitting here listening to all of this, and this is how I feel. First of all, that search warrant, I'm just going ahead and say it probably was requesting his DNA, and that's part of how some of this grid shit be working, because he got to sit there and tell he done flip for something, because ain't no way.
Listen to how they come up with this whole theory on why they need Big U's DNA, only for this to end up being a situation where no DNA from Big U was found anywhere around this kid. This is crazy. Listen to this.
I've never seen no grown-ass man have another nigga's DNA under his fingernails. Anytime I have heard of DNA being under people's fingernails, it is like during some,
Well, Dreas, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
If it was asked at a right time, is it possible that they could find 2P's DNA under your fingernails?
Of course. But that's like during passion, though.
I mute up.
That's exactly what he said.
Okay, so now you're just making wild accusations. So again, when it comes to these, alleged male-on-male activities, you see where these rumors will come from, because you have people like Wack starting out these rumors. You feel me?
Yo.
That's why I said that's throwing me off, because you just got this nigga DNA.
Go ahead, Dre.
Fuck me up, Wack. It really fucked me up, because I said, wait a minute, this is nasty work. Oh no.
Listen. Again, it's murder mystery, so it's like.
So is this a crime of passion?
See, this is what it's something.
So again, you see, and then Wack will try to walk it back and make it seem like he never said anything about Big U having, these type of relationships with the victim, Rayshawn Williams, God bless his soul. And then he'll be like, well, no, because they said his son. But he implements these little seeds of confusion and these seeds of chaos. And then when they go in ways and directions that, maybe aren't exactly to what he said verbatim, he'll act like he has no involvement. But here we are again, as they're trying to describe and figure out this DNA situation that I continue to stress has been proven by the federal government that Big U is innocent of. It's crazy. And I will just continue to say that this is how rumors and lies get started and spread throughout our space.
Somebody, just like Stony B said on it too. They got a body in Vegas. Got a gunshot. We got some DNA. We don't know who DNA it is. What conversation goes on to make them or give them
Green
enough
like that.
to go to a judge because you refuse and get the judge to make them give you some where you have to give up the DNA? I think it's Floss. Floss got a history of telling. We got the paperwork. He told on James Collier from Schoolyard Crip. James come over there, shot 3 of them niggas. Floss is one.
Okay, well, goodness gracious. This is going in a direction that I did not intend it to go to. So with that all being said, man, this is what's going on in the world around us. We up out here to the next one. Red dots to the left, you know the rest. Say a prayer and be blessed. We gone.